All right, in this video, we're going to do a bit more of an extended test on the RX 6600, get into some combat and at my recommended settings for 1080p. Now notice in this scene we're getting 68 or 69 FPS, but let's also apply a little bit of an overclock. So my particular 6600, I haven't spent a lot of time overclocking, but I can at least get a bit of a performance boost. Now, to be honest, I don't usually do this because the fan speeds get a bit noisier, and I don't really like the fan speeds to be noisier. But basically, you can go to your Radeon software, and you can enable custom tuning, and you can play around with this a bit. You might crash your drivers a bit if you go too aggressively, but you're not really going to hurt anything, odds are anyway. And mine, I think, has a small factory overclock or something. It's set to 2574. I found that I can boost that about 100 megahertz pretty stably. And then when I apply it, not much really happens unless I also increase the power limit. So I allow my GPU to draw some more power. And then this tends to be fairly stable, although my temperatures and fan speeds also go up. Now, I've tried tuning my VRAM here, and even going to faster memory timings on my card crashes my driver, so it's unstable. I have found that I'm able to pull down the voltages a little bit and still remain stable, which can help control those temperatures a bit. So I've also heard that, sliding your min frequency to be closer to your max frequency can help stabilize things a bit. In my experience, which again, I'm not like some expert, I spend all day overclocking kind of person, it hasn't made a huge difference. But you can see that what we did here bumped us up a few frames per second, a couple, made a small difference. Not, not the biggest thing ever, but here we go. Now, this should load right into a fight scene. I've got this boss battle happening here, and just to confirm our graphics settings and all of that, we're running the RX 6600 at 1080p. Native currently, I'm not res scaling or anything like that. In the graphics settings, these are the ones I tuned in my recommendation video, where I said if you're just looking for 60 FPS, if you go with the ultra settings and then just turn the shadows down to high, you gain a huge amount of frame rate back with that one setting tweak. And your shadows are still better than the original PS4 settings. So those are the settings we're using, and I want to now confirm on an extended gameplay test, including in combat, how we do. So you can see in this scene we are getting smashed by a giant monster and still remaining above 60 FPS. Now I need to remember what the controls actually do in this game. I think the right way to beat this guy is just to throw the axe at him and kite him and not get in close. Atreus can shoot the little arrows to distract him so you don't actually get hit. And it takes a little while. Also notice the frame time graph looks very, very smooth here. So in a video, it's often hard to tell how smooth the game actually feels to the person playing it, right? Because there's a difference between what's recorded in the video and that experience versus being the one actually there in person playing it. So looking at that frame time graph is your best option. I've got to say, this feels completely buttery smooth. I am having absolutely no issues here. This game feels very smooth. In some games, 60 or 70 FPS can actually feel better than 90 or 100 FPS in other games if that frame pacing stays smooth. And you can see during this whole boss fight, that frame pacing graph is great. All right, let's see how it does through this little cutscene here. Minor frame pacing spike on the graph that I didn't really feel as it loaded into the little cutscene thing.
Boy.
All right, Atreus is getting his murderous feelings out on this troll.
Look at me, boy. Boy.
This is a troll, ogre, I don't know. Important thing is we've maintained over 60 FPS, even in this kind of cutscene kind of thing.
not ready.
You know, and despite the overclock and the power boost, the GPU temps
I found the deer.
and fan speed still feel pretty good.
Myself. How am I not ready?
We are going home.
I could also mention that sometimes having actually recording the
haven't been
game,
sick in a long time.
I just use the Radeon driver software, so it can have like a 1 or 2 FPS performance impact sometimes. It's very minor, but keep in mind that if you weren't recording in the background, sometimes you get even a slightly better experience. I didn't even realize I had taken damage in that fight.
The path home is this way.
Path home is this way, duh. Okay, fine, dude. Did you see the frame spikes on the graph there? So that's as it loaded this new section. So a lot of people saying that, like, you know, you see some spikes down of lower frame rates. A lot of time that's just as you walk into a new section and it loads. I don't think there's much we can do about that. Okay, attacking enemies and quick stun damage, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Bare-handed attacks inflict extra stun damage, and so do arrows. Interesting. Okay. So am I supposed to stun this guy? Alright. Okay. Looks like on the graph it showed a little frame pacing spike as I did that. I've got to say, I didn't really feel a frame spike. I think it was probably just as it went into the animation. And it didn't happen that time, so I'm wondering if that was maybe just the first time it loaded that animation. Although I haven't seen as much like asset loading issues in this game as you see in a lot of DX12 titles, especially on the Unreal Engine, which I don't think this is Unreal Engine. I haven't actually looked into that, but it doesn't feel like Unreal Engine to me.
Still can't get the doors open.
Because it's not a stuttering mess. Can I not jump? The God of War can't jump? Oh no, B is jump apparently. Right. So I guess I could use my axe, but we're in the rip them apart by hand mode right now. feels like the mood Kratos is in right now. Oops, I forgot to push the right button. Guys, I'm actually in the middle of playing Horizon Zero Dawn right now. I finally got around to that game. So the controls being different in this game is honestly kind of throwing me off. Switching between two games at the same time can be a bit confusing.
I told you something was different about the forest.
And I told you not to speak.
I really need to learn more about parenting from Kratos. And I told you not to speak.
But why would a fire troll burn Mother's garden? And since when are joggers so close to the house? And what was that frozen thing that attacked us?
I do not know. Now be silent. We are almost home.
Gotta try that on the long car rides with my kids. Be silent. We are almost home. I think that's good parenting.
Inside, boy.
Oh, I saw 59 FPS. Game's broken. Unoptimized trash. I will say that on my variable refresh rate screen, these swings from like 59 up to 73, 74 feel completely smooth, and the frame pacing's very good. If you didn't have a variable refresh rate monitor, especially if you're just on a 60 hertz display still, you might want to just set a frame rate limit to 60 to help it not hit any screen tearing or anything like that, and help it just feel super smooth. Also, I'm standing by my target for upping the graphics settings to almost ultra, because even though we could have had much higher frame rates by playing at the original PS4 settings, or even using some FSR, this has felt incredibly smooth, even in combat, especially using a controller. When you're using a controller, the mouse swinging around on it, when you're using mouse and keyboard, a lot of times you can feel the frame rates when they're a bit lower. Ooh, look at those stutters. I think it was just loading the internal environment, but we'll see. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is frame rates can feel smoother and more consistent at lower frame rates if the frame pacing is good and a controller movement, controllers, smooth it out a bit.
Anger can be a weapon. If you control it, use it. You clearly cannot. When you...
I haven't been sick in a long time. I'm better now.
Fine. Come on then.
You want me to hit you?
I want you to try.
Ow! What are you...
Try again.
I really don't know what inspired
So, try it.
the idea for this God of War game to be like a father-son relationship,
Again.
Stop it!
Again.
but I really enjoy it.
Your anger. You can get lost in it. The path ahead is difficult. And you, Atreus, are clearly not ready.
What was that?
Quiet.
All right.
Come on out!
Gotta knock on
No
the door.
use hiding anymore. I know who you are.
What's going on? Do you know him?
More importantly, I know what you are.
Boy, beneath the floor. Now.
It's always
What are you doing
creepy.
there to go down there? Who is that?
I do not know.
What's he talking about?
I do not know. Get in.
Just tell me what I want to know. No need for this to get bloody.
All right. Frame rate dropping a bit here. It's a cutscene, so it doesn't feel bad. We'll see how it gets in the actual gameplay.
I thought you'd be bigger. But you're definitely the one. Long way from home, aren't you?
What do you want?
Oh, you already know the answer to that.
Whatever it is you seek, I do not have it. You should move on.
And here I thought your kind was supposed to be so enlightened, so much better than us, so much smarter. And yet you hide out here in the woods like a coward.
Character models look pretty good here.
Do not want this fight.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Leave my home.
You know, I hate door-to-door salesmen myself.
I warned you.
Finally.
You would not listen.
Guy guy's a bit of a creeper.
My turn.
Get a bit of a frame rate dip there.
Incredibly disappointing. Come on, then.
Okay, I was curious about this. So I've been seeing in my comment section that the fight with the stranger sees some frame rate issues. Very curious if that actually happens here. So far, I saw that little stutter right at the start as the fight kind of loaded in. I guess I could actually pay attention to comment a little bit. But frame rates are feeling pretty good here. There's a little stutter there for just a second, but... I don't know, guys. Everybody was telling me the Stranger fight doesn't run well on AMD cards. I don't know if it's just that the rest of my system is high-end, but, I don't know. Seems pretty smooth to me. Remember, the rest of my system's quite high-end, so I don't know if that matters. I have a 5950X CPU, which is a little bit ridiculous for a game like this. I mean, and like paired with this kind of a GPU. Not paying much attention to the actual fight. Is there any health packs around here? Apparently not. Yeah, I don't know, seems pretty smooth. Do note the RAM usage is going over 8 gigabytes. I don't know if maybe some people are running out of RAM here if they're on 8 gigabytes. I don't know.
Why are there two beds in
He really doesn't like these door-to-door salesmen.
Struck a nerve, did I?
Okay, I did drop a bit below 60 while he was holding the tree. Still felt smooth.
Slow and old. You should never have come to Midgard. So, care to try again?
You talk too much.
You won't talk? Fine.
A bit below 60 here, but not really moving, so it's fine. Right. It still feels very smooth. frame rates are good.
For me. What are you hiding?
Got him. Oh wait, there we go. All right. Well, guys, I feel like the fight went pretty smoothly there, honestly. It was mostly just in the kind of cutscene type moments where the frame rate dipped. Right here, we're seeing a dip into the 50s, but with the slow movement speeds, it's not a big deal.
When Odin sent me here, I just needed answers, but you had to act all proud. Throw whatever you have at me. I'll keep coming. That old body will give out. But before I end this, I want you to know one thing. I can't feel any of this.
It tells me this guy is not in a great mental health state right now. Might need some counseling.
You've seen it with your own eyes. You can't hurt me. Nothing can. This fight is pointless. Your struggle is pointless. It didn't have to be this way. Pathetic. You can't win. I feel nothing. But you feel everything, yet you keep trying. I'm not my brother. And if you'd given me what I wanted, it wouldn't have ended this way. But no.
So does Kratos ever need to take a bath if he can just clean himself up like that? These are the important questions. As we see his like combat skill god powers, but like what are his other powers, you know? Avoid bathing? Okay, we did see a bit of a frame rate hit right there for a second. Came back up quickly and didn't really feel that bad. If I had just had the frame rate counter turned off, I would have barely noticed it. So that's one pro tip to enjoying games is, you know, just turn off the frame rate counter and just enjoy the game. Again, dropping slightly below 60 for a second. So we're definitely not completely locking 60 FPS during this fight. Oops. You know, I will say that it kind of lines up with what I know of most ancient mythologies, that the gods in various cultures did not always seem like the most mentally stable people. Oops. Guys, I failed. Apologies. Pay more attention to blocking, I guess. Yeah, I forgot there's a strong attack. Maybe I should be using that too. So dodge those things.
I feel nothing.
I feel nothing. I bet this guy's a lot of fun at parties. He seems like the kind of guy who'd just get drunk and start trying to pick a fight with somebody. You know? Why did I have trouble with this guy the first time around? Seems easy now. Oops. So there are definitely some moments where the frame rate does drop a bit below 60. It's sort of noticeable. Combat still feels pretty smooth, so I'm not really too worried about it. Certainly averaging well above 60. The dips are there, but not too bad.
I'd hoped that you, of everyone I'd faced, would finally make me feel something, but you can't.
Something tells me that he's not really dead. No spoilers in the comments. I haven't actually finished this game on the PS4. Stopped because I was waiting for it to come out on PC and play it with better graphics and frame rate. Feeling at some point we make him feel something. Alright guys, so I ran through this section because I heard that this was the problem for a lot of people. And, you know, we certainly dropped frame rates a bit here and there, but it didn't feel particularly bad or anything. It was very playable. Most of the fight was smooth with a couple little dips. I don't know, I still like these recommended settings. It looks very good. So I think I'm gonna have to stop here because my kids are about to wake up because I got up early to film the video. That is the end of the fight, yes? There's no more of the stranger here? Hopefully, because I got it in the video here. Hope all of you have an excellent day. Unlike Kratos here.